Hey there guys, Alexcoolrocket here, back with yet another video, and today I'm bringing you guys a draft analysis for the PCL D-League Season 1. So I know what you're thinking, Alex, what's up with all the draft analysis, but no videos for the battles? Now, I know I did the TBL draft analysis like 2 months ago, I want to say, and I said that I would try and upload the matches as best I could, and to be fair, I have been streaming them because it's Twitch Battle League instead of uploading them. It's also not upload required, so I didn't really feel the need to upload any of them if I could just stream them anyways. But for this one, the PCL D-League, which I am super excited to show you guys this draft, this one is an upload required league. This is the first season of the PCL D-League. It is ran by a bunch of really cool people. Shoutouts to my good friend Gordola Dragon for putting in the good word for me, even though I never even asked him to. I was gonna make a application video and everything and all that, but he just he put in the good word for me, said that I was reliable, said that I was really a good guy, good battler. Well, that's debatable, but yeah, so shout outs to him for helping me get into this league because I am super excited. There's a lot of cool people in this league, and I'm super excited to play all of them and show you guys this draft that we came up with here. So yeah, let's just hop right into the video. Okay, so for our first pick on the screen, you can see I drafted Darkrai. I was pick 8 out of 12, I want to say, if I remember correctly. And yeah, Darkrai made it all the way down here, surprisingly. Originally, when I was talking with people in my front office about what I wanted to draft, my number one, like, not really priority, but really mon I wanted to use and build around was Dialga, and that went first overall pick. So we had to change the plans a little bit, but as the draft kept on moving along, we realized that Darkrai was getting closer and closer to me, and so was Aegislash. So it was like kind of like a tie between one of the two, which one was going to get to me first. Aegislash went before me, as you can see with the previous pick. So I ended up drafting Darkrai, and I am not disappointed at all by this pick. This thing is absolutely insane. You look at the stats down there, its special attack and speed are through the roof. People want to call it a special Weavile, but to be fair, this thing has an insane move pool compared to Weavile. This thing gets all sorts of coverage, and if it gets the +2 with a nasty plot, it's basically GG. So yeah, this thing just threatens every team. Like, it puts dents into everything, basically. It's super hard, and I'm really excited to use it because it's always been one of those Pokemon that I've wanted to use, but I've never been in an Ubers League before, which, by the way, this is an Ubers League. So I'm really excited to use Darkrai this season, and I hope I can come up with some pretty insane sets with it, so yeah. Okay, so for our next pick, we went ahead and drafted Rotom Wash. So this thing was, I believe, the first like bulky water to go in the entire draft, and I'm super glad I got it early on. I don't know, I want to say I picked it at the right time. It seemed a little bit early at the time, but looking back at how the rest of my draft unfolds, I think I picked it like at the perfect spot. I just really wanted some reliable removal and something that wasn't insanely weak to rocks, and this thing does that. It can also set up things like light screen, so you can take a bit more hits. It gets Volt Switch, and for being a water type Pokemon, it only gets one water type move, which is Hydro Pump, but that's fine. That's no big deal. Scald is nice, but this thing doesn't really need it. It gets a lot of other really good moves. It's super bulky too. And yeah, so we're gonna start building a team around Darkrai and Rotom Wash. So super excited to show you guys the rest of this team, because next we picked up Buzzwole. Another tier 2 mon. Now there was these things in the draft, they were called like fire sales or whatever, something like that, where basically at random a tier would be picked, and then at random 11 of the Pokemon from that tier would be picked to go on sale for the tier below them. So for example here, this was a tier 2 Pokemon. Instead of Buzzwole costing 160, it costed 120 points instead. So I was like, yeah, there's no reason I shouldn't pick up Buzzwole here, especially if we were looking at, in our, like, little draft plan we had going on. One of the mons we were looking at was, Terrakion, however you say it. This thing basically does the same thing as Terrakion, but almost better at times, too. Really good defense stat, really good attack stat, very weak on the special side, but it does give me a nice little speed tier at 79 to play around with. Yeah, and if this thing starts bulking up in front of your face, that is not good. So, yeah, Buzzwole, another insanely scary mon to have on the team, paired with Darkrai and Rotom Wash. And super glad that I got it when I did, because it was on sale. And yeah, that allowed me to pick up some other mons too later on in the draft that I probably wouldn't have been able to pick up if I wouldn't have gotten this thing on sale so early on. So next up we have Nidoqueen, and admittedly I don't know that much about this mon, but it's a fairly bulky mon too, and has a pretty nice attack and special attack as well. Combined with sheer force, this thing can either be ran physically or specially. That's pretty cool. It also has a lot of reliable hazards to set up too, so we can do some nice hazard stacking with Nidoqueen and later mons that I drafted on. So yeah, Nidoqueen, just a really solid pick. It's yeah, I don't really have much to say about it because I don't know too much about it, but I'm super excited to use it this season. Okay, so next though we have the boy Tangrowth, and I believe I drafted this thing either season 2 or season 3 of the TBL, and I didn't really get to use it as much as I wanted to, but I believe on this team it'll be super good. This team's looking super bulky so far. You know, I wanted to get like all my bulk early on in the draft to pair around such a frail Pokemon like Darkrai. So I went ahead and picked up Tangrowth, and yeah, this thing overall just really solid mon. It gets the ability Regenerator, which just makes things annoying every time this thing switches out and then comes back in, because it just has like, was it like an 1/8 or a 1/6 of its health back? It's stupid. And then, you know, with things like Leech Seed and stuff like that, it can be a pretty stally Pokemon too, which I don't like playing stally, but if I have to, I will play like that. And yeah, Tangrowth does that job perfect. So really bulky team so far, except for Darkrai, but you know, it's looking super solid right now. This draft is insane, especially with the mons I pick up later. I'm surprised some of the mons that get picked up later made it like to those rounds, but you know, we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, Tangrowth, just another really solid addition to this team. And then in round 6 I picked up Chandelure. Now admittedly, our original plan was to build a team around Darkrai Victini, and it was round 5, right after I picked up Tangrowth. The person above me, Ali, picked up Victini. So I want to say he saw what I was doing, and he's like, yeah, no, this kid is probably going to pick up Victini sometime soon. Because really, Victini doesn't, from what I gathered from my front office, Victini doesn't really go until like rounds 5 or 6 in Ubers. So we're like, okay, we could probably save Victini for later, grab some really good bulk early on, which is what we did. But then Victini got sniped literally the pick after Tangrowth, which, I mean, that's fine, because Chandelure was still here, and admittedly doesn't do as much as Victini does, but it is still just a really solid fire-type Pokemon that has a pretty good special attack too, and gets decent enough coverage too. I don't know too much about this thing, but it was our next best thing to Victini really to pair with Darkrai, so glad I got it picked up when I did, because I have a feeling it would have gone either this round or the next round if people would have saw like what I was trying to do with this team. And then for our next pick, yeah, we picked up Mega Altaria next, and I want to say when I made this pick, I was out and I was at like dinner with my family, so, and I was getting pinged to make my pick. So I wanted to keep the draft moving along. Mega Altaria was a mon that we had on our plan because it just fit with the typing well, and is overall just a really solid Pokemon. Now, to be fair, I could have picked this thing up way later in the draft, but I wanted to make a pick because these first like 6 Pokemon were all in the plan that we had made. The other, like, you know, what was it, like 5 or 6 Pokemon that we could draft, they were all kind of a toss-up of what we thought we needed at the time. But yeah, so Mega Altari wasn't the plan. I didn't really want to bother my front office too much, and I didn't really want to have to think about my pick that much. So I just went up and picked Mega Altaria. This thing can be a pretty good support mon, actually. You know, I don't know. I don't know too much about this mon either. You'll notice that all these mons, except for Tangrowth, I have never used before, which I'm super excited. But I also don't have much to say about them right now. So yeah, Mega Altari probably went a little bit too. I probably picked it a little bit too early. And my front office told me that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but you know, I just want to make a pick. I wanted to keep the draft moving along, and it's not like it affected the rest of my draft at all in any sort of way. So yeah, Mega Altaria went round 7 for me. Next up in round 8, I went ahead and picked up my first tier 1 of the draft in Skarmory. Even more bulk to this team, which is insane. I'm super surprised I got all these bulky mons. This thing can set up hazards like nobody's business, and then it can just roost if it takes any damage, or it can taunt you, or you know, it can toxic you. This thing can do a lot. I've never used it before, but I do know what it does, and it does its job pretty solid. Yeah, Skarmory, everyone should know what this thing does at this point. It's pretty weak on the special side, but oh shoot, the little slide thing is covering up the stats. That's not good, but anyways, oh, there we go. Yeah, so it's pretty weak on the special side, but you know what? It's not that big a deal. 140 defense is nothing to sneeze at all. So yeah, Skarmory, just a really solid, another bulky mon to my team. And then, round 9, Jesus, did this thing go away? There we go. Okay. In round 9, I went ahead and picked up the frail boy Kartana with its monster's 181 attack stat and its very, very minimal 31 special defense, and it's 4 times weakness to fire. Now all the downsides that Kartana has to it, I have already perfect checks of that, or perfect switch-ins in case I feel like someone's about to click like flamethrower or fire blast on my Kartana, or switch in or whatever. I have switch-ins for all that stuff already. So round 9 Kartana, I believe, was also on sale too at the time, and so that again allowed me to save some points and pick some other mons up that I probably wouldn't have been able to in the last 2 picks. And yeah, this thing, everyone should know what it does. Super high attack stat, just hits things, puts dents in teams, and all that fun stuff. Super surprised it made it to round 9, to be honest, but you know what, I'm not complaining. I got my first, like, well, besides Buzzwole, I got my first like super hard physical attacker on the team to pair with my 2 other special attackers on the team. So yeah, round 9 Kartana, that was pretty hype. And then next up, I originally had picked Kafagrigus in this slot, but after the draft concluded, kind of realized, you know what, we didn't really think that Kafagrigus fit this team as well anymore, especially with Chandelure on the team. So we didn't want like 2 ghost types, and ghost type isn't like the best defensive type in the world. So we're like, okay, what can we drop for Kafagrigus to pick up? And we went ahead and picked up Gastrodon. This thing can, this thing gets recover, and it can recover stall you to death. And it used to be like super high tier. It's dropped pretty low in the tiers. It's in tier 4 now, but it used to run a train in OU. And yeah, another really like so much bulk on this team. So like, I don't know what was going through our heads when we did this, but we were just like, yeah, we're just gonna pick up as much bulk as we can on this. And yeah, Gastrodon is another really solid monster team. 4 times weak to grass, but we have, you know, switch-ins for that. We have solutions for that, so not a big problem at all. And then for the final pick, we have Alolan Raichu, which was my first and only tier 5 in this draft, which is kind of nice. I didn't have to draft another tier 5 due to me like saving points in the fire sales. So yeah, Alolan Raichu. I don't have Tapu Koko on the team, obviously, so this thing can't get free electric terrain up, but it can set it up itself, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Really, we were looking at this, and we were looking at tier 5, and we're like, we don't really know what we want on a tier 5. So we just went ahead and picked this up because we didn't have a Psychic type yet, and we didn't have, well, we do have an Electric type in Rotom Wash, but like a hard-hitting Electric type. I don't really have too much to say about this. But if it gets it set up correct, if it's allowed to set up, which is sort of hard to do depending on the matchup, it can actually put like a decent amount of work in. But again, like it can be kind of hard to set up with this Pokemon, especially since you don't have to set up electric terrain, but it definitely helps. And then if you also want a nasty plot with that, that's also pretty insane too. So yeah, Alolan Raichu just really wanted it for the typing, not really wanted it for anything like particular in terms of its moveset or what it can do. Just kind of wanted it for. So I have a psychic type on the team basically now. And yeah, that's going to do it. This team, oh god, this team got placed first and third in the first like pre week 1 power rankings, which for good reason too. This team is disgusting. It is probably my best drafted team like ever. I don't think I've ever drafted a team this good, and I probably wouldn't have drafted a team this good if it wasn't for my amazing front office. Shoutouts to Gold, good old Dragon, you all know him. Shoutouts to Kohanks, you all know him as well. Manbird, CJ, Die, you probably all know Die too if you're watching this video. Shoutouts to him. Hef and Tishen, all of those people are really close friends of mine, and I'm super excited that they're on my front office because without them I probably would not have drafted this good of a team. And yeah, I'm really excited to play this season, really excited to use this team. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. If you want to check out all the other coaches for the D-League, their links are gonna be in the description below. And if you want to check out my Twitch channel as well, because I am super active on there compared to my YouTube. I just got, like, about 2 weeks ago, I got Twitch affiliate, and I've been gaining like a good amount of followers every time I stream too. So the growth on there is pretty good. I hope to see the same on YouTube as well. That'd be super nice if I can have a super, you know, active YouTube channel, a super active Twitch channel at the same time. So if you guys want to go check that out, link is in the description. You can follow me on Twitter as well. All those links are going to be in the description. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I really hope you guys are excited to see what I can do this season in the first ever season of the PCL D-League. Peace out.